In the vast African savanna, survival does not hinge on a single advantage. Instead, it depends on diverse strategies, unique skills, and a constant ability to adapt. This is a land where every species has carved its own way of hunting, escaping, enduring, and continuing to exist under relentless pressure. Here, brute strength, speed, teamwork, or camouflage can mean the difference between life and death. The environment presents endless challenges, forcing wildlife to evolve continuously. Each day brings a test. Every mistake carries consequences, and every success becomes a new opportunity to survive. In this open and unforgiving world, the demands of survival shape every creature, guiding its behavior, instincts, and destiny. The African savanna offers no guarantees, but it does reveal one fundamental truth. Only those who adapt can secure their place in this wild and delicate balance. In the African savanna, survival does not rely on the strength of a single individual. Life here thrives on silent understanding, a subtle tilt of the head, a barely noticeable pause in movement, a slight shift in breathing. The savanna speaks without words, whispering ancient messages to those who know how to listen. True advantage comes from interpreting one another and moving in a harmony so precise it seems to arise from a single mind. Each member has a place within a plan, refined over countless generations. Here, feeding is not an individual act. It is the expression of a collective system, constantly adapting to the harshness of the land. On the horizon, where sunlight spills golden streaks across the plains, this coordination becomes a refined art of survival. The lion asserts more than presence. It operates as part of a greater whole. As the pride moves, each step aligns with the others, creating a power no lone predator could match. Within this structure, the females are the heartbeat of the group, setting the pace and making critical decisions. At the edges, the males form a steadfast barrier, defending the territory against rival coalitions and safeguarding the cubs. The harmony between the strategic intelligence of the females and the defensive strength of the males has preserved the lion's dominance for tens of thousands of years. Among the low shrubs that punctuate the endless grass, warthogs root the soil in search of food. Clumsy at first glance, their eyes never rest, and their ears track every whisper of the wind. They are born vigilant, attuned to every sound, every subtle shift in the grass that signals danger. This constant alertness is what allows them to survive in a savanna riddled with hidden threats. From a distance, the pride watches in complete silence. They know the warthog's habits, the zigzag runs, the points where it tends to turn, the paths it returns to in moments of panic. One lioness edges along the flank, another moves straight ahead to block escape. Every move is deliberate, every tactic honed over generations, executed in absolute quiet. When the air seems still, the pride springs into action simultaneously. No movement is accidental. As the circle tightens, the warthog senses danger. Its eyes dart frantically for an exit. In the open savanna, two pulses of life meet, tense as a bowstring about to snap. When instinct guides the prey to change direction abruptly, the lion formation adjusts instantly, a reflex perfected across countless generations. Key members synchronize their speed, closing the remaining gap. Every gesture is precise, as if planned in advance, showcasing the essence of collective power, the mark that makes the lion the ultimate strategist of the savanna. As the sun reaches its zenith and heat shimmers over the grass, the pride retreats under the irregular shade of trees to regain strength. After hours of activity and planning, this pause is vital. Breathing slows, muscles relax, and the body enters rest. Even as the savanna never stops, rest becomes a crucial tool for survival. In these quiet hours, the bonds of the group become evident. Head rubs, mutual grooming, and close contact are more than gestures of affection. They reinforce social cohesion, sustaining cooperation during hunts and maintaining territorial stability. This invisible network is the foundation that keeps the pride united against a relentless environment. At the heart of the group, cubs are in constant motion. They climb over their mothers' backs, chase one another, and tumble with clumsy energy. This is more than play, it is training. Their bodies grow stronger, reflexes sharpen, and they begin mastering the first lessons in stalking, leaping, and balancing, skills that will shape their future in the plains. Nearby, the males observe with calm patience, rarely involved directly in hunting. Their role is crucial. They patrol the edges of the territory, keep rivals at bay, and ensure a safe space for females and cubs to grow. As daylight wanes and cool breezes sweep across the savanna, the pride shifts from rest to alertness. Hunting instincts awaken. The females rise first, stretching their bodies, sniffing the air, listening attentively to every sign in their surroundings. This calm is the prelude to a night of strategy. Even in a tightly knit group, small frictions arise. When food is scarce or a young lion grows bold, firm stares and low growls enforce order. These are not open fights, but subtle adjustments that preserve the group's harmony. Suddenly, the young erupt with energy not to attack, but to assert their place. They circle rapidly, tense, while the others watch. For a moment, social balance seems to ripple, tension spreading like an invisible wave across the savanna, where a single change can alter the group's course. These tensions fade quickly. A glance, a step back, and distance is restored. pride resumes its rhythm, as if nothing happened. In this wild landscape, stability is the key to facing whatever comes next. As time passes, cubs venture beyond the protective core. They learn to read the wind, track the movements of the group, and memorize the paths to water. The savanna is vast and dangerous, but these early attempts forge adaptability, the essential skill for survival. They learn by watching and mimicking, sometimes stalking a small bird just to test their abilities. In every game, every attempt, the future of the pride is being written. These seemingly trivial moments sharpen reflexes and build the foundational agility of the young skills that will allow them to integrate into the collective hunting strategy. The savanna teaches not with words, but through lived experience, lessons repeated each day under the sun and dust. Much of a lion's learning comes from observing the adults closely. Cubs notice how their mother pauses when the wind shifts, how females maintain precise spacing within the formation, and how the males scan the surroundings with subtle, calculated gestures. In these silent details, the first knowledge is formed, the foundation for their journey toward maturity. Before mastering the chase, a lion must learn to listen. They detect the crunch of footsteps on dry grass, variations in the calls of birds perched above, and even sudden silences that signal danger. In the savanna, silence can be the deadliest signal of all, and understanding it often means the difference between life and death. Failed attempts and poor decisions are part of the process. Not only do cubs stumble, even adults adjust after mistakes. From these errors emerge sharper reflexes, broader awareness, and greater patience. The savanna offers no respite, and it is this relentless demand that hones strategy over time. The elders of the pride are living memory. They know every route to water, every area where lionesses hunt, and the subtle shifts the wind brings with each season. A mere glance or slight movement can guide the young. Knowledge is passed quietly, from one generation to the next, without a single sound. Even as they grow, young lions need years to fully synchronize with the rhythm of the pride. They continue to observe, gauge distances, and learn to move as one during coordinated hunts. There are no shortcuts to adulthood, only the steady accumulation of experience through seasons of rain and drought. As the sun dips and the savanna shifts its colors, the pride remains silent before the vast sea of grass. They have endured across countless generations, guided by principles that never change: unity, patience, and the ability to move in harmony with the heartbeat of the land. They do more than occupy this territory, they are part of its eternal pulse, stretching from one sunrise to the next. Across scorching deserts and tranquil rivers, strength takes many forms, but instinct remains singular. The savanna is a symphony of freedom and motion. In mid-July, beneath the blazing sun of Nevada's desert, the earth cracks under relentless heat. This is the harshest time of the year. The sky offers no shelter, only scorching air and swirling sand stretching across the landscape. Here, a single drop of water is more precious than gold. It is the fragile line separating life from demise under an unforgiving sun. Wild Mustang herds push toward one of the few remaining watering holes. Water is no longer just sustenance, it is power. Whoever controls access rules the territory. In the desert, hierarchy is not earned with gentle gestures, but with decisive strength. A stallion that secures the pool leads the herd and ensures his lineage survives. Each waterhole becomes a battleground where the strongest challenge, chase, and defend. Here, survival is inseparable from dominance. Amid the heat waves, a lone figure emerges. A weary stallion, having traveled over 15 kilometers without rest, arrives from a parched land where water has vanished. Every step is a struggle against thirst, a gamble for the future of his herd. Behind him, mares follow, loyal but exhausted, their eyes fixed on the horizon, hoping to find the last drop of water. Yet that hope belongs to another. The white stallion, current keeper of the pool, has held control throughout the dry season. He refuses to relinquish his rule. Under a blazing sun, the two males collide, dust rising around their hooves. If the newcomer fails, he loses more than water. He risks the mares and the survival of his bloodline. No calls or threats are necessary. Their eyes communicate everything. A violent shake of the head splits the air like thunder without rain. Kicks and bites erupt under the relentless sun. Here, defeat means more than losing access to water. It means losing everything. Suddenly, balance is broken. The newcomer drives his rival toward the pool's edge. A solid impact sends a cloud of dust rising like a wave. The dominant stallion yields, his strength dissolving under the searing heat. Silence claims the scene. Only the labored breaths of the victor ripple through the scorching air. Under the unrelenting sun, the newcomer lifts his head, asserting the right to live and pass on his bloodline. The mares approach cautiously, lowering their heads to drink the first sips. Submission requires no words, only evidence of strength. The desert has a new king. There are no celebrations, no fanfare, just heat and wind. Today, the newcomer claims the center of the territory, but tomorrow, somewhere between sand and sun, another will rise. In the wild, thrones are temporary. Power flows in a continuous, unending cycle. While Nevada burns under the sun, halfway across the globe, night drapes a seemingly calm river. In Africa, the story of power unfolds not in dust and fire, but in shadow and water. Beneath the murky waters of the Nile, an ancient presence waits motionless, hidden in darkness. Covered in algae, with only cold eyes visible above the surface, the crocodile tracks every movement along the riverbank. In the kingdom of patience, waiting is the deadliest weapon. The Nile crocodile, a survivor forged over 200 million years of evolution, has changed little since the age of dinosaurs. Its power lies in stillness. Only when prey draws near does immobility break, and instinct ignites a timeless hunt. On land or underwater, nature's laws remain the same. The strong dominate, the weak adapt or flee. Sometimes true strength is not in speed or sheer force, but in the patience to strike at the perfect moment. At midday, beneath a merciless sun, the river surface mirrors stillness. A herd of buffalo approaches, driven by thirst toward a seemingly tranquil bank. Yet beneath the quiet mud, the ancient predator remains unseen, poised to strike. A barely audible sound shatters the air. Instantly, the water erupts. The crocodile lunges, sending mud and debris into the air. Yet the buffalo's size shields it from a fatal bite. Repelled, the predator slides silently back into the dark depths. For this hunter, a failed strike is not defeat. It is preparation for the next ambush. Gradually, the water calms, leaving only gentle ripples. In this silence, time favors the patient. opportunity will return. And when it does, there will be no mistake. In nature, strategies may shift and landscapes transform, yet the survival instinct never fades. It is an ancient language understood by all, resonating from blazing deserts to the deepest waters, where life persists with relentless force. But Africa's wild essence is not confined to river shadows. As dawn spreads across the eastern plains, golden light floods the endless grass, revealing another realm entirely. A realm where power is measured not by size or patience, but by speed. From the heart of low grass, a slender figure rises. Amber eyes scan the horizon, watching a herd of Thompson's gazelles grazing in apparent calm. It is neither the strongest nor the most resilient predator, yet in the decisive moment, no terrestrial creature can match it. The cheetah exists on the edge, in the fragile space between survival and extinction. It moves like a living gust, skimming the ground silently, leaving no trace. Every motion is a precise calculation, a silent preparation for the single instant that matters when speed becomes a weapon, and the world collapses into one tense, decisive line. Lowering its body, the cheetah locks onto a gazelle form, then, in a single breath, bursts forward, cutting through the air and closing the distance in seconds. A precise flick, a subtle touch, and the prey loses its balance. Suspended in a cloud of dust, speed becomes a blade, and the hunt is over in mere seconds. While a Nile crocodile may spend an entire morning waiting for the perfect moment to strike, a cheetah has only about 15 seconds to determine its fate. Just as a mustang in Nevada can fight for minutes to control a watering hole, for the cheetah, everything unfolds in the blink of an eye. A burst of motion, a living arrow slicing through the grass like a projectile. In Nevada's desert, the victorious mustang lifts its head to the sky, the shadow of a golden eagle circling above under the relentless sun. On the Nile, the crocodile sinks back into the muddy depths, ready to repeat its eternal vigil. And here, on the African savanna, the cheetah knows that its power exists only in that instant of perfect explosion. Dominance is never permanent, but the drive to survive, from the mustang battling under the blazing sun, to the crocodile hidden beneath the mud, to the cheetah racing across the grass, always finds a way to continue, like the unbroken pulse of the earth, steady for millions of years. The savanna stretches endlessly, a sea of grass reaching the horizon, carrying the scent of sun-baked soil and the rhythm of all living creatures. Here, the sun never truly disappears. It simply changes its light, from golden hues to fiery reds, from nightfall to sunrise. Life revolves in an eternal cycle. This is the grand stage of the wild, where every creature plays its role in the symphony of existence. Some hide, others hunt, some dominate, and others defy fate. Amid this vast green expanse stands a unique sovereign, the ostrich, a creature that does not need wings to conquer the skies. This giant bird of the African plains cannot fly, yet it achieves freedom in its own way, powered by the speed and strength of its enormous legs. In this harsh land, no other animal rivals these limbs. Here, true power rises from the ground. Nearly 3 meters tall and weighing over 150 kilograms, the ostrich towers like an ancient figure, a living testament to the primal strength of the earth. Its long, muscular legs, as sturdy as columns of steel, are the result of millions of years of natural refinement, a perfect fusion of force and velocity. When the sovereign bursts into motion, every stride seems to shake the savanna. Dust rises in waves that scatter under the sun as it approaches speeds close to 70 km/h. Even the scorching wind of summer falls behind. In that moment, the ostrich becomes a living symbol of terrestrial power and limitless motion. Its small wings, incapable of flight, hide an essential secret balance. As it changes direction, it spreads them like sails, stabilizing its body and maintaining perfect control between speed, strength, and freedom. Its eyes, the largest among land animals, up to 50 millimeters in diameter, scan the landscape with unmatched clarity. From kilometers away, the ostrich senses even the slightest movement in the rolling grass, as if the entire savanna is reflected in its gaze. This extraordinary vision does more than ensure its own survival. It transforms the bird into a natural early warning system. A simple, cautious lift of its head alerts herds of antelopes that danger is approaching. In this way, the ostrich serves as a silent guardian of the grasslands, maintaining balance and the rhythm of life. With its tireless strides, it scatters seeds across the plains, helping new plants to take root. In this role, it becomes a discreet architect of the savanna. During the dry season, when rivers shrink into cracked channels of sand, the ostrich continues its journey with remarkable endurance. It can go for several days without drinking, drawing moisture from grasses and dry fruits. It is a master of survival in a parched land, where only those who understand the earth and respect its rhythm can endure until the end. As night falls, the wind whistles through the grass like a silent warning. Predators begin to stir, yet the ostrich knows no fear. With a few powerful strides, it melts into the darkness and dust, leaving behind only the whisper of the air and the fleeting trace of its speed. Without sharp claws or wings to escape into the sky, the ostrich relies entirely on its legs. Here lies the triumph of evolution, proof that true strength does not always dwell in weapons, but in perfect adaptation to a world as beautiful as it is unforgiving. Meanwhile, the sun begins to rise from the distant horizon. The first rays pierce the dew-covered sea of grass, waking the savanna from its long nocturnal stillness. Darkness gradually recedes, giving way to the pulse of life, the songs of birds, the rustle of grass, and the first heavy steps of the returning giant. The rainy season has returned. The scent of wet earth mingles with the breeze, spreading across the plains. For the ostrich, this marks a time of abundance. When the mating instinct awakens, the male begins his hypnotic display. Every movement is an invitation to synchronize with the heartbeat of the ground and sky. He spreads his wings, ruffles his feathers, and raises his neck with unwavering pride. He spins in a circle, letting out a deep, resonant call that echoes across the vastness, forming a display as imposing as it is graceful. It is an ancient language of courtship, written with the breath of the savanna. At the peak of the breeding season, the skin on the ostrich's legs and beak takes on a deep pink hue that gleams under the sun. It is a natural signal, powerful yet silent. The time has come to preserve life and continue the eternal cycle of the species. The nest is built in an open clearing, where the sun warms the soil. Several females lay their eggs in a single enormous nest, but only the dominant female and the male remain to incubate them. This is a remarkable act of cooperation, reflecting the profound intelligence of nature. The ostrich egg is the largest in the world, weighing up to 1.5 kilograms. Each female can lay 10 to 20 eggs per season. While one egg could feed a human family for days, in the savanna, it represents a precious, vulnerable treasure, attracting numerous predators. Within each shell, a tiny life develops quietly, a fragile miracle protected only by vigilance, teamwork, and the timeless balance of the savanna. Under the relentless midday sun, heat rises from the ground in invisible waves, distorting the air above. The ostrich feeds in a rare moment of calm, unaware that, amid the tall grass, a spotted silhouette presses low against the earth. The cheetah waits, tense, ready to unleash the storm of speed that defines the savanna. Suddenly, the world erupts. The cheetah bursts forward like a flash of lightning, and the ostrich springs upright in an instant, its powerful legs cut through the scorching air. The two fastest creatures on land engage in a race where each stride is not mere strength, but a flawless choreography of instinct, pride, and survival. The pulse of life merges with the whisper of wind sweeping across the grassy expanse. Every step kicks up glowing dust beneath the sun's harsh gaze. The ostrich twists its path, tilts its wings slightly, and fights to shake off the pursuit. But fortune in the savanna is fragile. Only those who push to their absolute limit endure. The chase ends, and silence descends once more over the landscape. Sunlight filters through the thick grass, illuminating a scene where nature has imposed a harsh yet fair trial. The cheetah approaches, fulfilling its ancestral role. The afternoon breeze blows gently, erasing the tracks left in the dust. In the savanna, tragedy does not exist, only constant renewal. The ostrich may fall, but life continues, silent and relentless, echoing the deep heartbeat of the earth. When the predator retreats, the true recyclers of the wild appear: hyenas, vultures, and even tiny colonies of ants. They complete the cycle, reclaiming every remnant and returning energy to the soil that sustains all life. Nothing is wasted here. Everything transforms. From the dark earth, fresh green shoots emerge, reaching toward the sun. Another cycle begins, the eternal circle of the savanna, where every ending becomes the start of a new life, and the story of the wilderness continues without pause. eggs laid long ago have hatched. In the morning breeze, chicks take unsteady steps, guided instinctively by the presence of their mother. Instinct is not taught in words. It lives in the deep memory of the savanna. The ostrich continues its endless journey, scattering seeds with every stride and sowing life across the plains. It is a silent architect of the landscape, a guardian keeping the eternal cycle moving between earth and sky. Yet beyond this, the world is changing. Roads, fences, and the relentless hand of humans fragment the savanna, shrinking its precious space. If these grasslands vanish, the ostrich will not be the only loss. The very heartbeat of Africa itself will falter. Protecting the ostrich preserves the memory of the soil and the breath of a nature that is slowly fading. As the sun sets, the final rays of day reflect off its sturdy legs. The ostrich runs across the sea of grass, now painted red by dusk, merging with the wind and dust. In that moment, a simple yet profound truth is revealed. True strength does not live in wings, but in the legs that move relentlessly forward, carrying life onward beyond every limit. In a world where every species survives through skills honed under relentless pressure, the wild never pauses, nor does it repeat itself. Life here evolves, adapts, and endures against challenges that never cease. Every hunt, every escape, every strategy is part of an ancient balance that keeps nature alive. The savanna does not reward strength alone. It favors those who understand their environment and respond at the right moment. To survive is to learn, and to learn is to continue existing. If this journey into the heart of Africa's wilderness has captured your imagination, subscribe to Wild Call TV and join us for more explorations of the animal kingdom. Your support allows us to continue sharing real, powerful, and vibrant stories from the natural world.